This is the John Brown Alliance, the soul of the resistance in the DMV. We remember in 2015 when the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, against the wishes of black police officers, supported Donald Trump. Many of their white members fell for the okey doke, like Michael Fanone and others, and they paid the price for that. On January 6th, the president of the Fraternal Order of Police didn't say anything or make a statement against what Donald Trump did. These people brought flagstaffs, pepper spray, bear spray, and other weapons to the United States Capitol, built by enslaved black people, and desecrated it. They beat police officers with Trump flags. They broke in. They put feces all over the walls that our tax dollars had to pay to clean up. And they call themselves the Party of Law and Order. In this Trump administration, he refers to black people, Native American people, and Latinos as animals, and says the liberals calls them people. You can't call them that. You can't. No, they're animals. The only animal I see in my eyes is the same white trash animal that sailed here in 1492. You can no longer sit there and say that you didn't participate in slavery and you didn't participate in certain events in American history, so therefore you're exempt. When you continue to do everything short of defending your own reputation, white privilege has been the benchmark of the United States of America, and they never apologized for their original sin. Now this is our third rodeo, maybe our fourth. The first one was when we got duped into serving in the United States military during the Civil War. The second one was Reconstruction, when people of color were allowed to hold office. Only for white people to say, wait a minute, just like the Trump administration is doing right now. We have to erase everything of color. Enter the Ku Klux Klan, which is now your police, your military, and ICE. That is your Ku Klux Klan right now. This is our third rodeo. So when will we learn? When will we not allow for the end of Reconstruction? This is not a question that I pose to you. This is an answer to your question. People talk about a civil war. There's only so much people can take. And rest assured, in certain parts of America, 73% of the United States population does not agree with authoritarianism. But I digress. 73% of America are willing to do a little something something. Then there's the rest of us. We are not enlisted. We are not categorized. But we will defend our families. This will not wait for an election. We will not stand down until somebody completes their cycle. We do not schedule what we do based on YouTube and someone's event. What we do is stand up when standing up is necessary. Because we have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Like and subscribe to this video. I think you should, because it will lead you to other people that think just like we do. If that's the way you want to go. If you want to keep living on your knees, you can doom scroll and look at these yellow highlights and all that kind of stuff and, feel better at the end of the day. But you've done nothing. So back to my point. Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., just like many other black politicians, keep allowing Donald Trump an in by saying if he would have just talked to law enforcement, if he would have just done this, just done that. There's no just. When lawlessness and tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. There is no excuse at this point for anyone with a history rooted in the United States of America that goes back to 1492 to continue to do nothing. I don't want to hear anything Cory Booker has to say or Nancy Pelosi or anybody else, because all they are is just like Clarence Thomas. They are house Negroes and white pro-Negro pretenders who are now placating to Donald Trump. Silence is golden. But we're not stupid. That's the difference between us and them. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. This is the way it has been played over centuries in this country. Those who need to speak out don't speak out. And those with the least to lose are the ones who die for this country. And that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. Over the next few months, like Malcolm Nance said, somebody is going to get stupid. And it's most likely going to be on the authoritarian side. When that happens, you're going to have a civil war. Because of the weapons that they're carrying, the training they lack, and the lawlessness that is the Trump administration. To counter that, you're going to have someone or someones in certain areas that are not used to kissing white ass that have already planned for this. These people are not afraid to walk down the street. They don't need Secret Service. They don't need the streets cleared or the National Guard to defend their city. They don't need any of that. Courage is a superpower, and that is one thing MAGA does not have. All they do is run their fucking mouths, talk about guns, and do absolutely nothing to serve the American people. So we're done with that. On September 1st, the national general strike is going to kick off on Labor Day. People have already flooded into Washington, D.C. over the weekend. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, or today, I'm sorry, is Saturday. Now on Monday, we would like anyone who is former military, retired or otherwise, disabled or otherwise, and former police department members who quit, can't work anymore, or whatever, to come down to Washington, D.C. and protest in front of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. We need this shit green-lighted. We need pressure on these people. We don't need to talk anymore about how CNN fucked us over. We don't need a 3-day protest because some celebrity is coming into town. This is a long-term commitment. And this occupation is not going to end in the first week of September. As a matter of fact, I am disabled and I have to get a nurse, but I do intend to be in Washington, D.C. on September 8th. If you want to contact me before then and have a little rendezvous, that would be great. But if you are expecting to go down to Washington, D.C. after Labor Day and not be willing to go to jail to oppose Donald Trump, don't waste your fucking time. Because right now, this is where the rubber meets the road. This isn't about whether you agree or not with our tactics. This is about getting the fuck out of our way. Because right now you are in our way. If you're doing this for clickbait or any other reason than to save this democracy. That is job one. So do not come to Washington, D.C. If you're going to sit here and complain about who's not coming there, they're not coming there because they're not ready for this. We are. We've been planning for this for 9 years. So if you can't handle it, stay the fuck out. Okay? I don't go to trailer parks in Appalachia right now because they're full of toothless people drinking Mountain Dew and feeding their kids Frito pie. So if you can't handle Washington, D.C., and that applies to MAGA, their followers, and every member of the United States Senate and Congress who think they are entitled to walk down our streets and are white and we need to get on the other side of the road, you can kiss our motherfucking ass. Starting September 1st. This is the beginning of what you asked for. You want to cut people down in the street? You want to shoot a bunch of people? You want to do whatever you want to do? I think you're going to be the losers in the end of this. Yes, some people are going to get hurt and some people are going to die. But you got to be willing to give something to get something. And some of us are willing to give a little more than the rest of you. This is the John Brown Alliance. When you see something wrong, man the fuck up and do something right.